What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Colby Jackson, and welcome to Small Biz Promos, the podcast. Coming to you live from Birmingham, Alabama, specifically Helena, Alabama. Born and raised in Birmingham, I have lived some time in Boston, Massachusetts, 4 areas in California in the Bay Area, Roseville, 20 minutes east of Sacramento, Palo Alto, San Jose, Sunnyvale. Lived in Vallejo and San Ramon around Pleasanton. Worked out there in the Bay Area. I've lived in Anchorage, Alaska. I've traveled to multiple states and been all over the great United States. I own a pest control company called Iron City Pest. You can check that out at ironcitypest.com if you're in the Birmingham, Alabama market. We serve Jefferson and Shelby County. I've been doing pest control professionally for 8 years. I've been in service sales management. I was a manager in Boston and in California, and now I am an owner of a small business that is 7 months old and is doing exceptionally well. It's 10 months ahead of the original projections. We are an interesting company designed to be an exclusive provider, so it's a bit of a different approach in the pest control industry, especially in my market. I also do small biz promos, which are videos for social media marketing, graphics, slogans, logos, general ideas and creativity for ad campaigns and promotions and advertisements through social media, flyers, posters, stuff like that for small businesses. Small Biz Promos also will do videos for other projects as well, such as youth sports highlights videos, children's parties, things like that. But that's honestly few and far between. We do things for churches, events. We do a lot of events, so holiday events that neighborhoods or cities may have. The Homewood Witches Ride in 2019. We made a video for that for the American Cancer Society. Done a lot of stuff for local artists, local bands, things like that. We made sold a couple of social media marketing videos to a local painting company recently. Just today, actually, did 2 promotional flyers for a local pharmacy, Mills Pharmacy. Shout out to them. They have 12 locations in Central Alabama. This one in particular was for the Pinson location. And so these are things that we get paid for. There's a lot of passion projects sort of mingled in with the paid projects. And I think that, you got to find what works for you that you love to do and do it. And you got to, mix in a little bit of what's practical and sell that and push that to make the bills. So there's always the business aspect of anything. You look at take any celebrity, any superstar, anybody that's a musician or an actor, an athlete, or anyone who achieved something that is rare to achieve, where the challenge was great and the odds were against them and the competition was very high, and they went out and achieved a certain goal. Once they get to a certain level, there's a lot of things that go into the day-to-day logistics of running their operation that maybe they didn't anticipate. And, they either have to pay people to do it or they do a lot of it themselves, but they're still involved to a degree when you're operating in the world of business. So, anyone, no matter who it is going to have parts of their day-to-day life as far as their professional life goes that they don't like. And people have always said to me, you should do this, you should do that, you should do that. And I say, well, I do those things. Owning Iron City Pest has been amazing because now that I am an owner, I get to do all of my own social media marketing and advertising and promotions. I edit my own videos, I do my own graphics and logos, so I'm 100% in control. I do my own website design. And I get to determine the personality of the company. I get to decide how I market, how I advertise, how I promote. I get to build my brand the way that I want to. And that's what my passion is. The art behind that, the creativity behind that, the effort that goes into those things, that thought process. And so, the actual pest control, yes, I do the services, and I do intend to do the services because from a business standpoint, it makes more sense, and I am marketing myself as an exclusive provider. I would prefer to continue to do the services because it is good work that actually helps people. It's rewarding, it has a purpose, and I enjoy it, and it's relatively easy. Once you've been experienced in it, like I said, I've been for 8 years and had such a versatile experience, and very blessed and fortunate to have had the experiences I've had in that short amount of time. You can that stuff becomes second nature. I always tell people I can teach and train anyone how to do pest control. Learn the biology of the pest, the nature of the pest, learn, how they operate during each season, the products that you need to use, how, when, where, why, what products are, the active ingredients, learn the laws and regulations, get licensed, whatever it is you need to do. You can even learn the lingo, and you can even master customer service, but you can't teach people how to care about the customers. You can't teach people how to want to get out of bed every day and want to, be passionate and be energetic. You can't teach that. They have to come to that on their own. They have to decide that that's who they want to be for that day, and then make that decision again each day, day in and day out. And honestly, that is what this podcast is about. So that's just a brief history of me professionally, a little bit, where I've been, where I'm at right now. I'm 35 years old. Things I did leading up to pest control was really not much to talk about. Some things I like to do in my free time. I like to paint. I'm not that great at it, but I enjoy it. It's relaxing. I do like to draw cartoons. Don't do it very much, but I am pretty good at that. I love to write. I believe that I am a talented writer. I enjoy it. I love to edit. I edit for my family videos and again for paid projects, and then I do some free projects, but I love to edit videos. I love to take photos and edit. I would say that the editing is probably my favorite part, more so than the actual filming or recording of the videos and the photography part. The editing is where my passion is. So that's something I do in my spare time. I'm a big fan of Super Mario, so I love Nintendo. I'm not a gamer, but I do love Nintendo. So I got a Nintendo Switch, and all the Nintendo systems, I've always kept up with them. So I'm a big Mario head. But I love to talk to people. I love doing creative projects. I love maintaining a YouTube channel and a Facebook page and an active Instagram, TikTok, and doing a podcast is something that's cool. I mean, you look around, everybody in the world's doing it, and it's definitely something that's right up my alley and something that I know I would enjoy. As far as anybody going to listen to it, I don't know. When you do something because you're passionate about it, you don't think about those things. You don't really care, to be honest with you. You do it for yourself. You do it because it's rewarding. It's kind of like journaling. When you journal, it's rewarding. It can be artistic. It can be expressive. It can be poetic. But no one in the world may ever read it but you. But it serves a great purpose for you. And, so I think that with any kind of creative outlet, you want to first make it your own because you're putting yourself out there. And then you got to decide, is this something I'm just keeping for me, or am I going to present this publicly? And so when you do decide to present it publicly, then it's like, okay, so what is there a true purpose of this? This simply just to entertain? If so, then, I'm kind of rolling the dice. Maybe people listen, maybe they won't. If it's to present a certain idea, to help train, to help educate, that's a different thing. If you're actually trying to sell a product or service, that's a different thing too. And so that's some of the things we're going to talk about. Small biz promos, marketing, and advertising. That's what this podcast is about, because there is another passion of mine that I think is probably my most intense personal passion and something that I discovered about myself that I did not know until it happened to me, is that I really thrive on helping other people succeed. So in 2017, I was a pest control technician at Orkin Pest Control in Birmingham, Alabama. And I decided that year, let me back up. 2016, I decided I was going to explore spirituality. I learned a lot of things about major religions worldwide, in particular about Eastern religions. I learned a lot about Taoism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Eastern philosophies, the Tao Te Ching, the Bhagavad Gita, and a lot of just those philosophies that I found fascinating. Discovered Alan Watts, a philosopher in the 60s and 70s that was known for introducing Eastern philosophy to a Western audience, and was from the UK but became a professor in the Bay Area of California. Spent a lot of time on Mount Tamalpais and out there near the redwoods. And so I spent all that time in 2016 exploring that meditation and some other things, and really got centered and found some things out about myself that I didn't know were there, and it sort of changed me permanently forever and opened up my mind and spirit and my perspective. And so 2017, I decided, I'm gonna try something else. Well, my birthday's is in January, the beginning of the year. So when there's a turn of the new year and everything's starting fresh, I always turn a new age at the same time. So I have this sort of unique perspective on, okay, I'm getting this totally fresh start. It's a new year for me. It's a new year for everyone. I'm turning a new age. So each year I decide I'm going to take one thing. Since 2016, I've been doing this. That was my 30th birthday too, by the way. So when I turned 30, I started just trying to take these steps to enrich myself, I guess. So 2017, I said, I'm gonna decide to make this year about money, to learn how to make more of it, to learn how to sell. I'm gonna start there. So I started listening to a lot of Les Brown for motivation, Jim Rohn. You can look these guys up on YouTube. They're fantastic motivational speakers. They've passed away. They're not doing what they do anymore, but they were very influential on me. I loved what they had to say. Their stories are incredible, both of them. And then, of course, I studied some things from Steve Jobs that are great. I read a lot of things from Mark Twain that is not necessarily directly related to sales, but that's more of putting. Mark Twain is great because he combines just this inspired sense of everything into one thing, and intellect, philosophy, and sort of exploring self-worth and just finding some truth within yourself. He has a phenomenal quote that says, forgiveness is the scent the flower leaves behind on the hill that crushes it. It's one of my favorite quotes by Mark Twain. Einstein has a phenomenal quote that says, when something can't be explained, that's when God did it. And so there are these sort of quirky characters in the past that have these insights into everything as a whole a little bit that gave me an interesting perspective. I also studied Plato's Allegory of the Cave, which is fantastic. There's a channel on YouTube called School of Life that has an awesome animated video about Plato's Allegory of the Cave, and it gave me an interesting perspective on how to handle the new view through which I was seeing the world. And so as I started to take this philosophical approach and spiritual approach into my life, and then I was exploring sales, I kind of merged the two. I wanted to really explore the psychological aspect of sales, and I did not want to come across as a typical salesperson, because when you think of the word salesman, a lot of times there are negative connotations that come to mind. These images of used car salesmen in the traditional sense, and door-to-door charlatan type salespeople that are annoying, and so sales is a dirty word to a lot of people, and it's an intimidating word to a lot of people. They think that you have to have a certain personality for it, a certain knack for it, or talent, and that's just simply not true. I believe that anyone can sell, and anyone can sell themselves, their product, their brand, their service. Maybe you're making a podcast and you want more listeners. I believe that I can help you to understand what you can do for yourself to achieve that. Maybe it's, social media, and it's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Maybe it's an actual business. Maybe you're in the service industry, carpet cleaning, you're a plumber. Maybe you build decks or fences, you're a contractor, or you're in pest control like I am. Maybe you are an artist and you make music and you want to get your music heard, or maybe you paint or you draw and you want to get, your art, some exposure for your art. Maybe you're a muralist. Maybe you are someone that has a restaurant or a food truck. Maybe you're someone that owns a pharmacy. These are real examples of people I know. A painter. Maybe you're, like as in a home service, commercial and residential painting. Maybe you pressure wash and you cut grass, and you want to make something yourself. You want to work for yourself. You want to get something on your own. That's what this is for. It's for those individuals that want to get something on their own. Not have to rely on a company. Not have to rely on the ways of another person, okay? The talents of another person. My problem was I was always feeling like I was the smartest person in the room, or at the very least that I had a better idea than everyone else. I could see a better way to do it. And the truth is, whether my way was better or not is irrelevant. It's not that it was better, it's that my way worked best for me. And that when I put myself wholly and completely into what I'm doing, it's going to work. Because if I do it my way, it will work for me. And if I'm the one in charge and it's about me, then I'm going to see the return on investment. And the investment needs to not be money. It needs to be time, and it needs to be energy. It needs to be effort. It needs to be sincere effort. You should stay awake at night, worried about it, thinking about it, coming up with ideas. If you have a dream and a passion and it does not keep you up at night, if it does not wake you up early in the morning, if it does not distract you from the other things in your life that you love, then you will fail, period. Quit now, find something else, or go get a regular job. There's no shame in a regular job. There is honor. There is, that's the backbone of our nation, of our world, that keeps the world going around. I'm so appreciative of the people, and I've known some of the greatest professionals that work for major corporations that are honest, good, hardworking people that have made a great living for the family. And they're not necessarily all managers or executives. Some of them might be technicians, some of them might be assistants and helpers, and whatever. People that work in the medical field. My wife is a registered nurse. She's not an entrepreneur, but my gosh, she is one of the most necessary people in the world. My sister is a registered nurse. My mother is a chaplain who helps people through insanely tough situations and provides spiritual care. My mother-in-law, up until recently, worked in a cath lab, as a registered nurse. And so, gosh, there's just so many different things that people do that have practical applications that are not in the world of entrepreneurship. My cousin is a librarian, an advanced librarian, and is doing tremendous things. My other cousin works in museums and that industry, and so my uncle is currently working for Lockheed Martin, and was retired from the Air Force. So there are so many things, so many great contributions that could be made professionally through the private sector, government jobs. I mean, gosh, there's a world of good to be done out there. But this podcast is for people who are trying to go it alone and want some advice, some tips, some tricks, some information that is helpful on how to build your brand, how to sell yourself in a positive way. I'm not talking about selling out. I'm talking about selling up, okay? How to create interest, how to generate interest, how to generate activity, how to generate likes, followers, views, subscribers, listeners, how to turn that stuff into real dollars in your bank account, how to connect and get your Venmo and Cash App activity as active, if not more so, than your YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram activity, how to get your bank account going up. That's what the point of this is. But that can't be your focus. See, if that's your focus, then you're gonna fail. Money cannot be your motivation. Okay? You hear rappers say money is the motivation. Oh, that's a great catchy thing to say, and it sounds great in a rap song. But in reality, people must be the motivation. Sincere, compassionate, intentional, servant-led, purpose-driven service or product, your whatever you're providing has to have all of you in it. And you sell yourself first. The idea of you. Your story is what you're selling. Your personality is what you're selling. That's what you're selling. You're not selling any sort of product or service. You are selling an idea first and foremost. And let me tell you something. People don't buy products they like. Okay? People buy things from people who believe what they believe. People spend time with companies or individuals that think like they do. You're going to buy something from someone because you see something of yourself in them. And a quality salesperson is going to be able to pull that out of you. The first thing I do when I go into a home when I'm talking to a potential customer is I identify something in them that is in myself. Something we share, and I attack that. And when I say attack it, I mean I hype it up. I mean I talk about it. I mean I highlight it. I spend time on that, and I ask a lot of questions. Talk less, listen more. Talk less, listen more. You want to push a product, a service, push goods, push your art. You make your product, you make your service, you prepare your service. But then when it comes time to promote, to market, to advertise, that is a different skill set, guys. You can have a phenomenal product. There are some of the most talented musicians, rappers, some of the most, qualified service providers out there that just don't understand how to market themselves, how to advertise, how to promote. And we're going to dive into the definition of all three of those things: advertising, marketing, promotion. We're going to understand what direct marketing is here on this podcast. We're going to talk about that. And I'm going to grow and I'm going to learn along with you. This is not me teaching you. This is me openly learning as I go and bringing you along that journey with me and sharing in the knowledge that I receive and sharing in the knowledge that I have already received, that I've applied, that has worked, that has proven. Okay? When I started selling in Birmingham, I began that year in 2017 trying to sell. Made the first sale on February 13th, 2017. The first of 203 sales that set a company-wide record at the company that is the number one company worldwide in pest control. I hold the company record for the most mosquito service sales in a single season with 203 ongoing mosquito programs. The record before that was 120. That guy lived in Kansas City, Missouri, and he was the only person to ever break 100. My record will most likely never be broken. I did it through sheer willpower, desire, decision to achieve a goal. And then I said, I'm going to make President's Club, which I did. The ceremony was in Chicago. I was tapped by the AV director in Atlanta at the local studios they have for their internal marketing and internal sales videos and education and ongoing training courses at Orkin. I was tapped by that guy, and he said, hey, I want you to make me, because he knew about my stuff. We had met before when I did some corporate training for him, when I began my sales process. I'm telling you, man, I was blowing it out the water. They ain't never seen anything like it. Neither had I. He said, hey, I want you to make a video for President's Club ceremony in Chicago. I'm not going to tell anybody. It's going to be a surprise for all the big wigs, all the division presidents, the CEO, the president of the company. They're all going to be there. I'm going to play it on a big theater size screen in the big ballroom where we're all going to be at the same time. So there I am, sitting about 20 rows back, and up there in the front, I could see the CEO, the president of the company. I could see all the division presidents, the region managers. I see everybody. And there's my face on this 30-second video that I made, and it was the last one in a loop of videos. Aubrey, my boy down in Atlanta, put it up there last. The theme was, where would I want President's Club to be next year as far as the location, because they change the location each year. It was great. It got a lot of good laughs, got a lot of good attention. The next morning, I had a job interview at the shoot, what's the name of that hotel? I can't think of it right now. But it's a historic hotel in Chicago. Had a interview with the region manager of New England. Offered me a job to be service manager of the South Boston location, work in pest control. He said, can you do for a team up there what you've done for yourself down there? And he said, now look, let me tell you something. The customers are different up there. It snows. The technicians are different. You're going from being a tech to being a manager. Can you handle this? I said, yes. I went up there. South Boston was number 10 out of 10 in the gutter. Sales were not even considered to be achievable in any competitive way at that branch. 2018, my first season there, we finished our mosquito and tick sales season in the spring, number 1 in New England. First season out. In 2017, I had won the South Central Division Technician Contest, number 1 out of 1,500 technicians in 9 states. My wife and I won a trip to San Antonio for the weekend, all expenses paid. In 2018, I was a service manager at the South Boston branch, and my technician, Chris Dotton, won the very same contest for the Northeast Division. He won a trip to Florida. He was from Massachusetts. He had never been to the Southeast, never been to a state like Florida. And so, not only that, but we finished, we were the runner-up in our division. The division was 55 branches in 11 states. And I got our branch to second place. We lost to Long Island overall. But to be second out of 55 locations in the Northeast Division, it was just unheard of what we had going on. I did a music video that I produced. I edited plenty of videos internally for the work in pest control corporate structure. I did the same thing at Terminix in the Bay Area in 2019. Did a lot of videos. My service team led sales for pest control and was number 1 in the Pac Coast region 5 months in a row out of the 6 months that I was there. So I tell you guys this not to brag. I tell you this because I want you to understand that there are some methods that I've discovered that I have applied that have worked. The other day, let me tell you another story real quick before I go. There's a pest control company in Tuscaloosa called Turner Pest Solutions. I met this guy while I briefly worked at Cintas. Only 2 months. I didn't work in pest control in the last 8 years. Didn't care for it. Didn't like driving to Tuscaloosa. Found the work to be incredibly boring. But I was a manager there. I was the catalog manager, which is basically internal sales. Cintas is primarily a rental company for rugs and sanitary products and uniforms and stuff. Anyway, so this guy named Toby Turner owns Turner Pest Solutions, and he was a driver there at that time. He has since quit to go do his pest control company full time. And I saw on his Facebook 2 days ago that he only had 27 Google reviews. I currently right now have 113. My company's only 7 months old. Toby started his company over a year before I started mine. So I'm like, why do I have 113 Google reviews with a 5-star rating and this guy's got 27? So I messaged him on Facebook. I was like, hey man, I got 113 reviews. Check it out. And I want to tell you how I did this. I'm not going to tell you guys right now because I'm going to get into that in the next episode. But I explained to him what I did, how I got him. He said, okay, thank you so much for the information. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'll try anything and I work hard. I was like, man, I'm telling you, this will work. Just do it. Watch. I said, I guarantee you double, if not quadruple your reviews within 2 weeks. The next day, in 1 day, he got 10. Now, if he kept that pace up in 2 weeks, you can do the math. So the next day, he had added 10. I want you guys to understand that there is some validity to this podcast, that you're going to get some good information out of it, that I am definitely qualified to pass along this information. And I'm going to wrap it up there and keep it at half an hour, all right? It's Colby Jackson. Y'all check out IronCityPest.com for your pest control needs. This is Small Biz Promos. If you got any questions, hit me up on jacksonvids@gmail.com. That's my email, JAXNVIDZ, jacksonvids@gmail.com. You can check out Iron City Pest on YouTube for some of my promotional stuff. Shout out to Jackson's Painting here in Birmingham, Alabama. Check them out on Instagram. You can see some of our stuff. Shout out to Agape Weddings, Cabin Fever Coffee Truck in Helena Drugs, Mills Pharmacy, Ken Horton Lawn Care, my buddy Jerry Jean. If y'all need any small contractor work or some painting work, he can help you out with that as well. Also, check out the guys at Sneaker Culture 101. It's a podcast on YouTube and on iTunes podcasts there as well. I recently subscribed to them on both of those platforms. You can also find me on Instagram, ironcity.pest. TikTok, got something going there. Creating something specifically for kids on TikTok, kid-friendly content. Channel there is Buggin Daily, BUGGINDAILY. Already over 2,200 followers on TikTok. We're busting over 1,500 on Instagram, Twitter at Iron City Pest, over 3,000 followers there. Facebook Iron City Pest page, just at Iron City Pest 205. You can find the Iron City Pest business page. Rocking with about 550 something likes on that page there. So, YouTube, you can find my personal YouTube channel that's different from this one. It's at JacksonVids, JAXNVIDZ. That's my personal YouTube channel where we've got right at 400 subscribers, which is pretty cool because subscribers on YouTube are not, that's probably one of the most difficult things to get in the social media sort of realm, the video platform. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that's Twitter, all that stuff. It's TikTok, I think, is the most difficult one to get actual subscribers is YouTube. It's tough in that. But you'll see, we've got hits. A lot of our videos, we have actually over 1,000 videos on that channel, but about 40% of them are private. It didn't start that way, but we recently went in and made them private. Just to protect our kid and stuff. But there's a lot of old ones on there you could check out, a lot of new ones, and the things that I'm keeping public are just things that we do, locations that we go to, some stuff I edit, maybe some promotional stuff. You'll see most of my personal promotional stuff from my company at the Iron City Pest YouTube page. So check that out. Jackson Vids, again, 400 subscribers on a personal channel. It's really cool. We have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, man, that's all I got for you. I went a little bit over time, but this is the first episode of Small Biz Promos, so I'm going to keep updating you on my activity that I get, and we're going to dive more. This is more of an introduction, dive more into the story about, what the advice was I gave to Toby Turner at Turner Pest Solutions that helped him improve his Google reviews, the advice that I gave to the team in South Boston that allowed them to become number one, the methods that I applied myself that helped me achieve a company record at a company of that size that still stands, and some of the things I did to build my business in 7 months to be 10 months ahead of projections and to grow as rapidly as I have and to generate the activity and business and real dollars that I have. So I'm going to share those secrets with you guys step by step. We're going to define marketing, advertising, and promotion. I'm going to give you some really quality information on how you can not only promote, market, and advertise yourself, your product, your service, but how you can build your brand. That's the key. Check you guys later.